So we've got my brother and his wife coming for lunch today, and they both love my New York-style baked cheesecake. Well, they think it's mine. It's actually straight out of the freezer. Compliments of Dr. Utka's patisserie range of cheesecakes. But, as always, I'll give it a pimp. My way. We're making white chocolate toppers with cranberries, dried fruit, and nuts to accompany each slice. I'm using all the leftovers in my pantry, so you can do the same. Firstly, allow your baked cheesecake to thaw as per the instructions on the box. Now, you will need a flat baking tray, baking paper, enough to cover the surface of your baking tray, a small tin, a marker, 1 tablespoon, non-stick spray, dried cranberries, nuts, I'm using almonds, and any other dried fruit that you may have lying around. These are from my snack sachets. And lastly, white baking chocolate. Right, let's make these toppers. Place the baking paper onto your oven tray. I've already pre-cut mine to fit. Now, using your tin as a stencil, mark your circles on the baking paper. I'm going to make about 8 medallion toppers. Make sure the circles don't touch. When done, turn the baking paper over so that the inked side is on the reverse and spray the baking paper with your non-stick spray. Make sure you grab the non-stick spray and not your sanitizer. I say this from experience. Now, take your white chocolate, which you've already broken up, and place in a microwavable bowl. Initially microwave for 1 minute 20 seconds until the chocolate starts to melt, and then remove, mix, and back in again. Thereafter, melt in 1 minute increments until the chocolate has melted. And when done, give it one last mix to ensure that all the chocolate blocks have melted evenly into a thick, pouring consistency. Using a tablespoon, scoop a spoonful of the melted chocolate onto each circle stencil, trying to keep each scoop in the circle. We need the chocolate topper to be thickish, otherwise it will break when you try to remove it off the baking paper once it's set. If you feel that you need to add more chocolate to reach the desired size and thickness, do so carefully. If you do go over the circle, don't panic, it's fine. Unless, of course, you're OCD, in which case you won't be fine, so scrap and start again. Now, take your nuts and your cranberries and whatever other dried fruit you're using and place onto each of your chocolate medallion toppers. You see, it's that easy. And they don't all need to look the same, unless you're OCD, in which case do what you need to do to keep you happy. For the rest of us, place freely, making sure that all the toppings have partly immersed into the chocolate. And once you're done, refrigerate for at least 20 minutes. By now, your New York-style baked cheesecake will have thawed. Now, let's top and plate. Bring out your tray of chocolate toppers. I made some extra for the kids. Now, using your fingers, gently unstick the chocolate toppers from the baking paper. Try not to break them, especially if you're OCD. If you're OCD and they break, you might as well abandon this project altogether. Now, the fun part. Place each topper onto each slice of your baked cheesecake. Wedge it in gently. That's it. Look at that. You know what? It looks like those fascinator thingies the royal family wear on their heads when attending day functions. By the way, you can pre-make these chocolate medallion toppers and refrigerate in an airtight container to use as and when you need. No sell-by date. They'll last longer than the Lord of the Rings trilogy. My precious! Now with your leftover nuts and dried fruit, finish off by placing them on the surface of the cheesecake for some color and texture. That's it. White chocolate medallion toppers on a decadently thick double cream baked cheesecake, New York style. It's as if you baked them yourself. Just ensure that you remove all the evidence. My precious.